find water, but you can't even find your own children.
My boys.
Hurry up!
Arthur, Henry, and Edward Connor.
It's all right. Put on your arm. We're not leaving your brothers behind.
There's a key scene in the movie that talks about how this is the first war that gives a damn about the dead, and that really struck with me. Why was the story important to examine the nameless victims?
Well, you know, we tend to forget in our recognition of bravery and courage in armed conflict that sacrifice is, you know, is deep and it's permanent, you know. And I just wanted to put it in perspective for people, particularly that figure of just how many people not had died in total, but how many people had died without any type of burial or a place for their families to know that they were interned, you know. It's just part of an overall responsibility. I feel that if you're going to approach a subject matter like this, you have to take it with a depth and a seriousness, you know, not just for your current audience and not just for the people who might have been connected to this particular battle, but for future generations in terms of what war really entails and its brutality.
You're shooting him, and him.
This is an ambitious project for a first-time feature film director, and you've worked...
So they tell me.
Yeah, you worked with great filmmakers like Ridley Scott, Peter Weir, Ron Howard. Did you draw inspiration from any of them, or who did you sort of look to when it came to directing a film?
Look, man, every single director I've ever worked with, I've been learning from. Sometimes you're learning good things, and sometimes you're learning things that you'll never do yourself. What I do know, having, you know, spent quite some time in the business, I mean, I first started working in front of a camera when I was 6 years old, in 1970. I've done 25 years now of lead roles in feature films. So that's a massive accumulated experience level, you know, and on-set experience level, in the bunker of problem-solving experience level as well. So you draw from everybody, you know. There are, you know, I've sat probably for 2 years of my life with Ridley Scott, for example, you know, having done 5 features with him, you know. I know through hands-on practical experience that where other directors say the camera is not athletic enough to achieve something, Ridley's already proven to me over and over again that it is. So I know I can push the camera to that level. So I know I've got to have a certain type of camera operator because I'm going to be working really fast, you know. You know, from Peter Weir, you learn, you know, how to keep your set balanced, you know. He's like, you know, a lovely man and certainly an artist, and he would play Mozart on the set of Master and Commander, you know. And if you're on a boat 40 miles off the coast of Mexico, and you've got Mozart floating across the waves, it adds something to the experience. So I took that into it, you know. And it's not a social thing. It's not something. It's actually about bringing people into focus, bringing them into the moment. And you know, I probably took it a few steps further than Peter, because I started to use it as a Pavlovian thing, you know, where if I want the crew to move faster, I play music that's slightly faster.
I'm out of time, but can you get on the phone to Peter and Paul Bettany, and can we continue on with the series? Like, is there any hope for another Master and
Look,
Commander?
I actually have talked. It wouldn't worry Paul at all. I think he'd be quite into it because he loved that character.
Yeah.
Peter, or you know, said right from the beginning he would never make a second one. And it's just one of those productions that's extremely complex because you have obviously the estate of Patrick O'Brien, the writer. You then have the original rights holders, which is Samuel Goldwyn, and then you have a couple of individuals who have connection to the rights as well. You then have a movie that was made in partnership between Fox, Universal, and Miramax. So there's so many ducks to get in a row in order to do a second one of those, you know. And a couple of times there we've had conversations about it, but it hasn't come together at this point.
We've got the one, and I've watched it numerous times, so thank you for that at least.
Cheers, man.